and Gordon Thomas. Hello.
Good evening. How are you? It's nice to see you back in the hot seat again, Tom.
It feels like a long time, Gordon, I'm not going to lie. But here we are talking sport and, well, we're talking boxing, we're going to be talking rugby.
Yeah.
And before all of that, we're going to be looking at football. We're live over on our social media at present. And if you are there already, you'll notice that we've got Gareth Noot, Tenby manager. Gordon, fresh off a victory in the West Wales Cup?
Yeah, brilliant victory against Merlins Bridge on Saturday. Gareth will tell us all about it now. But I think that's the first time in the club's history that you've reached the semi-final stage of the West Wales Intermediate Cup, Gareth. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Evening, boys. Thanks for the invite. Yes, it's the first time we've reached the semi-finals in the club's history. We reached a quarter-final, in 2014, but never got to this stage. So it's special. It was a special day Saturday.
So, I mean, with the likes of Mickey Lewis and Darren Brace, you're the most successful manager in Tenby's history then, Gareth. Is that right?
I don't know.
Should we put the record straight now to put them in their place?
You mentioned some special names there, so I don't want to, I'm not taking any limelight off it on anybody. I've got a good team alongside me as well in Billy Davies and Richard Perry.
Let's talk about the game itself on Saturday then. Obviously, the week before you've gone out in the Senior Cup on penalties against the holders, Clapperson Road. That must have been a bit of disappointment, but you certainly came back on Saturday with a vengeance at the Pembrokeshire Sports Ground to beat Merlins Bridge. How did you prepare the boys before this big cup tie?
It was. Last weekend was a big disappointment, especially as you said, like going out on penalties. It's never an easy way to go out, but that's how it is. We had to take that on the chin, prepare, and hopefully get a reaction, which we did on Saturday. We know what Merlins Bridge are all about. We know, as we spoke earlier offline, there's a bit of history in terms of players playing for both clubs and stuff like that. So in terms what happened last weekend was a big disappointment, but the boys all seemed up for it. We trained on Thursday. There was a good vibe, good atmosphere, good intensity, and everybody seemed ready for it, as they on Saturday morning as well,
Yeah, it was important to get out quickly on Saturday and, set your stall, so to speak. I have to say that Tenby, for the first half an hour or so, absolutely dominated and thoroughly deserved a 3-goal lead. How did you see it, Gareth?
Yeah, I've got to agree. We were a little bit surprised that we settled quite easily, quite well early on into the game. As you said, the first half really. Yeah. We settled into it, and we didn't really give Bridge time to settle into the game because we settled so easily and played just the way that we'd like to play. We didn't really give Bridge that chance to settle. So the first half was good, 3-0 up at half time. So that's all we were looking for, more than what we were hoping for,
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of quality in your team, to say the least. I mean, Scott Finney's brilliant free kick for the first goal. Spencer Williams as well getting on the score sheet. You look really comfortable. And as you say, there's a few boys that have experience with, should I say, the other side or the darker side, Merlins Bridge. You've got Joe Leahy, Scott Finney, Finley Fraser, so it did add a little bit of spice, which we like in the cup.
Yeah,
as long as it doesn't overspill, and I'm sure the boys enjoyed a pint with each other after the game, no matter what the result.
That's it. Yeah, I think if it would have gone the other way, I think it would have been the same sort of thing after the game. The boys, as you said, they did have a pint after, and it was all in good heart, So it's just what you want, what you want to do on a Saturday afternoon, and especially in a big cup game, is go out, have a good game, have both teams going toe to toe, and then have a pint afterwards. That's all you want, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Gareth, what do you put this down to? Because Pembrokeshire side seem to do very well in this competition over the last few years. We already got 2 teams definitely in the last 4. There's a possibility that Hakin added to make it a 3rd. 3 out of 4 isn't bad. So Pembrokeshire football isn't in a bad place, do you think?
No, I agree. Goodwick, it was a shame they went out on Saturday, because you could have been looking at 4 sides in the last 4,
Yeah.
So it was a shame that they went out as well. but it definitely puts Pembrokeshire on the map. Not that they really need to be, because we already are anyway. As you said, the success over the years in the West Wales Cup has been really good through Pembrokeshire, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
What happens now then? You know that you're in the draw for the next round. How are you going to be preparing yourself for the next fixture?
I think do we want anyone particular in the draw? I don't think. When you get to this stage, whoever you play is going to be a decent side now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think we just prepare as we have done over the last couple of rounds and enjoy the day and just soak up every part of being in a West Wales Cup semi-final, really.
Yeah. It's a pretty good thing to say, isn't it? You're in the semi-finals, one more match away, and you'll be representing Pembrokeshire in a cup final in the Swansea.com. Is the ambition? How's that? How are you trying to quell those feelings?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because as much as you try not to look beyond the next game, because there's a cliche, isn't it? But take one game at a time. But yeah, you do sort of have, one eye looking at that as well and thinking if we can do it, sort of thing. So it's just keeping the boys grounded now and don't look beyond the next game.
Have you been pleased with Tenby's performances in the bread and butter, the league this season, Gar? Or do you think you've sort of should have done a little bit better?
On the whole, I would probably think we've done okay. There's a few games where we've sort of underperformed to our usual standards, because I like to think our standard is, pretty good. We played with good football, we're good side. So there are games where we've been below par for definite. I don't like to mention it, but the Cairo game a couple of weeks ago, that still hurts now.
That's the problem with the derby sort of game.
Yeah,
there's a lot of boys with a lot of history with that club.
Yeah, that's once again, there's a lot of history with the club, between the two clubs, and it's obviously the recent tragic history with Adam Muscat as well. So it was more passion involved with that game as well then. But on the whole, though, I think we've done pretty well this season. I think we're currently sitting fourth behind Clarby Road. And I think we've got I think it's 4 games in hand over them. So potentially, once again, like I said, we don't want to look too far, but finishing fourth last season, we'd like to think we can get third place this season and, progress and just build on what we've already got and what we did last year.
You mentioned that your season's been okay, and of course Merlins Bridge did give you a bit of a scare on the weekend. What were your feelings when you're like, it's coming back? Because the score kind of flatters you in that final section, but it was a close game and they were coming back.
Yeah, that's right. We thought, is it happening again? Because we've been there before and sort of on occasions capitulated and sort of not fallen apart, but as good as, really, It is about trying to settle the boys down. It becomes a little bit frantic, a bit panicky, like the ball's like a hot potato and stuff. So we do try and sort of, from the touchline, try and keep them calm. Easier said than done sometimes, especially with such a big occasion, But yes, we managed to get over the line. That's all I can say. As I said, the second half was a lot closer, but Bridge needed to bring that second half performance to make it a game, which they did, to be fair.
And just looking now then, because we were just talking off air, and of course it was well documented that Tenby, you dropped out of the league. You've had to come back through. Is this kind of vindication of that decision to do that and to go back through the ranks? So how would you plot the last couple of seasons to get back to where you are now? And as you say, fourth in the league with a few games in hand. Is that vindication of that decision for the club, do you think?
Oh, 100%, yeah. It was a shame to see the old setup go when it did. I think 6 seasons ago now. But the decision to reform again, I think was perfect. Myself and Dean coached a junior team who were under 16s the season that the seniors folded. So then the following season, then we were in a position to bring those boys into senior football in Division 5. We were lucky then to get Jerome and Darryl Williams to come back to the club. Dan Storer came back to the club. So we had a few experienced players coming back and willing to play in Division 5, where realistically they could have probably played in Division 1 and certainly Division 2, but I would have said the Division 1 players have proven it now. Yeah. So we were lucky to have those, showing their loyalty to the club and coming back in Division 5 and doing the hard yards to get back to where, building through the divisions to where we are now. And then Scott Fernie coming back in, I think came back in Division 3, and it's gradually built as we've gone through the leagues.
Yeah. Was there ever a moment of doubt when you were going through those leagues and you're like, this is where we are now? Or has it always been ambition to be like, no, we can do this. We'll get those players back. We'll breed new players, and there will be success at the club?
Yeah, I always had the belief. As I said, we had a big core of 16-year-olds in Division 5, and then the experienced players. But there was always belief in those players and that core of that squad that could cope quite comfortably in the lower leagues. And then obviously as you climb through, you need the more experienced and better players, as it were, to keep you pushing on. And we got that. As I said, I mentioned a couple of others who came back. We've had more. The Sam Butler is another one who's come back. So every season we've sort of built, and we've not gone out and gone crazy and adding players, but we try and add one or two certain players in certain areas each season, and so far it's worked. And it's not just like for the immediate thing; it's looking for the future. I'd like to think like that what we've done and what we did on Saturday and getting to the West Wales semi-final inspires a younger generation within the club as well. Those sort of players, like Saturday, for instance, we had two 17-year-olds on the bench that came on. James Arden being one of them, who scored, I think he scored our fourth. Billy Evans, they're both 17 years of age. So that shows that we're trying to bring the youth through as well as the experience.
I mean, to be fair, before the club actually folded last time, Gareth, Tenby have always had a lot of quality in that area. You've had a lot of junior sides as well coming through. So I think you obviously go from strength to strength with the type of players that you've got around that area, but they need people like yourself and Dean Hurley to guide it properly. And I want to congratulate you all on your success and wish you all the best as you move forward.
Thanks, Gord. That means a lot. It's nice. It's nice to get that appreciation and the recognition. Like I said, I think the boys deserve it because they worked hard to get, as I said, to get from 5 all the way through to 1, and to be at the top end of Division 1 as well. Yeah. Last season we did it. This season we're doing it. So something's clearly being done right.
Yeah. Jason Chapman's been in touch, who's probably there on the touchline on the weekend, actually. I did say on the first show at the beginning of the season, Tenby would be the surprise team of the season. Best of luck in the next round. How does that mount to the pressure of being the surprise team? Did you not think it was going to be a surprise?
Within the squad and within the team, we're confident in what we can do. Whether we thought we'd get to this stage, it's also down to the luck of the draw. But we do feel genuinely that on our day, if we can play the way that I know we can play, we're a match to anyone. We can match and certainly contend with anybody. So that in terms of fear, there's no fear really. It's just, as I said, it's what happens on the day really. I think we're good enough for definite.
Good enough to get to the semi-finals of the West Wales Cup, maybe even the final. What's the next step to try and break that 1-2 spot in the league?
It's pretty much do what we're doing. As I said, we do look at maybe refreshing the squad a little bit occasionally, but with selected certain players and looking at the youth. Obviously, you need that experience, but you do need to bring the youth in as well because you're going to end up with an aging squad otherwise. So you do need to bring that youth in and sort of nurture them through, which is what the experienced players can do. So it is just keep doing what we're doing, really.
Keep doing as you're going. And we can't really go without saying, I think everybody and their dog has seen a certain free kick. How many times have you had it sent to you?
Yeah, the free kick has done the rounds. It's been on every group that we've got, I think, within the club. It's been shared over Facebook. I don't know how many times. But
I'm sure Scott is telling everybody in the changing room how good he is as well.
Oh yeah. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. But I tell you what, for those who haven't seen the free kick, they do need to look for it because it was something special. It was some free kick. He has, as I said before, he's got it in his locker. He's done it many times. But they don't all get caught on camera like that one did.
They don't.
That's amazing. And so, what's next then? What does the next couple of weeks look for you?
Well, talking of league action, we're up in Clarbeston Road on Saturday now in the league again.
Ooh.
So that'll be another tasty game. See if we get revenge on last week then. So there's that one. And
well, they're actually third in the table. I haven't looked at the table. Right. Does that mean you could leapfrog them if you get the 3 points, or
I think because they played league on Saturday, I think if memory serves me right, I think they're 4 points ahead now.
Right.
And I think we've got 4 games in hand if I remember right. But I think
Yeah, I think you know what it is exactly, Gareth. You're being very, very, very modest, mate.
Well, we can't say too much, can we? We're going to keep the cards close to the chest and stuff.
Exactly.
But no, it's as we found out many times going to Clarbeston Road, it's not an easy place to go. They're a good side. They know how to play football, so it's not an easy place to go. So let's see what happens. We'd be confident going there from what's happened the weekend just gone. So we are confident on going there. Like I said, we're confident in whatever we do. So the confidence is there, the morale is there within the squad. So yeah, we're ready to go again now.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, wishing you all the best with the remainder of the season and also with the draw of the next round. Where's that fixture being played?
The semi-final.
Yeah.
I'm not too.
Gareth, it'll probably be played at Stevenheath, but there's obviously a hold up on the other side of the draw.
Yeah, that's right.
Is involved
I thought
there's some.
Leyland is still involved as well, aren't
they? So until they sort that out, they won't be. They might do the draw, but all that side of the draw is
I think they normally tend to both be on Stevenheath, don't they, Gord?
I think they do. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So that'll be a new ground for you, Gareth, or not?
Yeah. No, that's a new ground, certainly for me anyway. I think.
Yeah, and
I know West Wales. What was it? A couple of years ago, one of us, the under-16s, Luke Lawrence's age group, got to the West Wales Cup final. I think it was. That was on Stebo. So, but personally, for myself, it's a new ground. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, exciting times for the
it is.
And you're very modest. You have done a good job with Tenby, and it's thoroughly deserved. Hopefully, you go a little bit further. We'll have to wait and see in that.
Yes, let's wait and see. See what the next round brings us now.
Yeah, exactly.
See what it brings us. Well, congratulations once again, and of course we have Billy Davies, Monkton Swift striker, chatting with Fraser in the first half of the show, to get his take on their fixture. And we look forward to covering all of these results as we get into the business end of the season, as they say.
We are definitely.
We're going to turn our attention to the other ball now. In just a second, looking at the rugby results, and your neighbours, Gareth, Tenby Rugby had a wonderful weekend.
Oh.
What was that?
I think it was 103, whatever. They hit a century of points. That's an incredible number, to be fair.
103.28, I think.
Okay.
When we got back and we were having a couple of shandies after the game on Saturday evening, and we were talking to a few of the rugby boys. And that's. Wow, what a victory that is.
A great night Saturday night was in Tenby Town on Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
It was. Continue. Gareth, thank you so much for joining us. Send our congratulations to the rest of the team, and we'll be watching now in these last remaining fixtures, and once all that admin sorted on the other side, we'll figure out who you'll be facing off to next. So thank you so much, Gareth, for joining us. Welcome anytime, especially if you get through to that next round. I don't want you to leapfrog a game in your planning, though.
No, one game at a time, boys. One game at a time.
That's the cliche.
Gareth,
thank you, lads.
Thank you so much. You're listening to the Pure Sports Show, the Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. We'll be back talking rugby after this on Pure West Radio.
Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors.